Hello, dreamers. Welcome to this week's episode of Cherish, Live, and Dream. I'm your host, YaYa.
And I am your host, Jay.
And
And we are your hope dealers.
Okay, guys, let's get into it. Come on in this house. We are going to have a discussion today that you need to be a part of. We are going back into our science lessons, okay? And we are going to learn today about trees. So, having said that, are you a palm tree or an oak tree?
I don't know, but let's find out.
Okay. So stay with us, guys, because we need somebody to get free. And so you want to stay with this and stay with us because you need to be able to live the life that you were destined to live.
All right.
And so, having said that, I'm going to tell you guys about the palm tree.
Okay, tell us.
So, the palm tree, guys, is supported. Oh, here's my card. Okay.
Show mine.
You can show yours.
Here's my card. I love leopard print, as you all can tell. And she loves colors.
So anyway, a palm tree is supported by a flexible midrib and produce a canopy of large leaves, and these leaves are called evergreen leaves. And these leaves they maintain throughout the year and into the following growing season.
Mm-hmm.
The canopy, because a canopy kind of comes over like an umbrella, readily sheds the water. And then the flexible midrib of the palm tree allows for bending and flexibility
Okay.
against the strongest of winds. Sustaining the force and the flexibility with this tree results in resilience during a crisis. Also, palm trees are stronger after a storm. The root system is not weakened, but is actually strengthened by the storm. Y'all remember that now.
Okay.
We're going to come back to
Strengthened by the storm.
And when the wind blows hard, the roots stretch and grow stronger. And the winds could blow as fast as 145 miles an hour. Can y'all believe that? That is some strong wind. And get this, the roots are shallow with their growth, and they only grow within a 36 inch depth into the ground. And that's not deep, guys. So imagine you have this huge, tall tree with these big, floppy leaves, and you're thinking because it's tall and big that the roots are deep in the ground, but not so with the palm tree. It's just like right there at the surface. And so, so when the roots grow, they grow horizontally, and they remain narrow even as the plant grows taller.
Okay.
So the palm tree is something to contend with. They're not playing out there. They're not playing. They're like, hey,
bring it.
Go 12 rounds. I got you. Ain't no technical knockouts here. So we going the full 12 rounds. Listen, y'all don't want to mess with the palm tree. So I'm going to hand it over to my sister Jay, our resident doctor, nurse, evangelist, preacher, all of that. Oh, therapist. And she's going to give you guys some information about the oak tree. And then we're going to really get into it.
Yes, we are going to get into it.
So, my sister?
Yes. So the oak tree, a couple of things that I have about that is they have majestic branches that are giant in height, and they can extend to 100 feet, and the width of the tree can be up to 150 feet. Okay? So the oak tree can live past 300 years. And I actually have some in my yard. Like I have huge oak trees in my yard, and they are huge, and they are beautiful and very majestic.
She has the rainforest in her yard.
I really do, you guys. I
It's
do.
beautiful though. It's
I do,
beautiful.
but yeah, I do have a lot of trees. And so what I've learned about the oak tree is in 2004 it was named America's national tree.
Hmm.
And so with the oak tree, we use it a lot as far as flooring, cabinets, firewood. It makes barrels, so it is very economical. For us to use it, people can make money off of it, and so. But as far as the oak tree is concerned, in order for something to live at least 300 years, that means that it has to be very strong. So the oak tree is a symbol of endurance, strength, and longevity. Also, the oak tree is associated with honor, nobility, and wisdom. And the symbol of strength, morale, resistance, and knowledge. It is exceedingly strong, heavy, and durable. But the oak tree, on the other hand, despite their strength
Hmm.
and their deep root system, because their roots are very, very deep and their roots are very huge and strong. But despite all of that, when a storm comes, such as a hurricane, it snaps.
Wow.
So, my question to you is, are you an oak tree or are you a palm tree? And both of the trees have very, very great qualities. I start to sound like Porky Pig, great, or Elmer Fudd, great. It was great, but
Oh, that reminds me of an episode of Golden Girls
oh God, here we go, here we go.
where Dorothy was kind of reaching back into her childhood and remember that she used to, I think, have a list. Is it list?
Yeah, it's a list.
And so she overcame it, but in that moment, it like came back.
Maybe it was because she got nervous or something.
Yeah.
Sometimes certain things like that can make us, when
Right.
we get nervous, we start doing stuff like that. But anyway, I meant to say great. So both trees have great qualities. And some of those qualities, you guys, I think we possess. And I think with an oak tree, in life we do have endurance. I mean, you can
Right.
even say endurance as far as sports. I mean, you have to have endurance in order to play sports. You got the basketball players running up and down the court, whether if it's NBA or college basketball, they have a certain number of periods that they have to play and it's a time frame and sometimes that time frame can go a little, over. They have to have strength, they have to have longevity. So what do you possess? What do you hold? Or it might not just be one tree. You might have a combination of two. So, y'all, what what do you think?
I think that I'm a palm tree.
Okay, tell us why.
I have endured more challenges in my life than I would like to admit.
Okay.
However, with those challenges, I've learned to be flexible,
Mhm.
to bob and weave, like we talked about with the palm tree, that have the mid rib that's flexible.
Mhm.
And then when life um, has come at me strong and with a vengeance,
Mhm.
I was able to endure
Okay.
and go from season to season. And as you can recall, they have the evergreen leaves, the covering.
Mhm.
Ooh, thank you, Holy Spirit. The covering that goes from season to season.
Okay.
And so, what I learned about the oak tree in comparison is that the leaves they don't withstand season to season.
Mm-mm.
So, as far as being able to bob and weave and
Mhm.
be creative and hustle and deal with what life has thrown at me,
Mhm.
I'm more of a palm tree.
Okay.
And so, when I think about some of the things I have gone through, so I have experienced home insecurity, food insecurity. You might not know right now because I'm a little on the fluffy side. But nonetheless, I have experienced food insecurity. I have been challenged in my finances severely.
Mhm.
So, as far as the palm tree, I have been able to adapt. And
Okay.
so with the palm tree, when you think about hurricane season, especially if you see like the meteorologist videos and reports, those palm trees, they're like leaning. And you think they get ready to snap. Come on, girl, come with me, come with me. And
What song? What
do the
song?
rock away. And lean back.
Okay.
And lean back.
Yeah.
And lean back.
Uh-huh.
And lean back.
And what was his name that song that?
Fat Joe. But we don't own the rights to that.
Was it
Anyway.
Fat? Oh, it was Fat Joe,
I think
wasn't
it's
it?
Fat Joe.
Okay.
So they lean, and you think just when they can't withstand anymore, they pop right back up.
Mm-hmm.
So that really mimics my life. And I'm sure it mimics a lot of the lives of our viewers and our listeners. So I can relate more to a palm tree. However, I do have some of the characteristics of an oak.
Okay. What are those?
I think I'm full of wisdom.
You are. You are.
Knowledge.
Yeah.
What else you say over there, girl?
Let's see. So strength, morale, resistance, and knowledge, like you
Yes.
said. Strong, heavy, and durable.
Yeah, I definitely am durable. There's some times where I felt like I was going to absolutely lose my mind,
Mhm.
but I didn't. I didn't break under pressure like an oak tree would. But myself, as well as people that I know that have gone through difficult situations, and if I could include Jay, she's so private, but I won't go into details. But I know she has endured some very difficult situations, and she's bounced back. Now, me, I tell everything. I tell all my business because I think people need to know that, they need to know so they can get free.
They can get free.
Jay, like, they can get free. They ain't got to know my business, but get free.
All for her business.
But anyway, so yes, I am a palm tree. So what would you say you are, Jay?
Well, I kind of admire the oak tree, though. I mean, I hear what you're saying about the flexibility and the bending and everything, but I still feel like the oak tree still withstands life's hard lessons because there's no way that something can be around for 300 years and it not experience some type of hardship.
Right.
I mean, we're talking about a palm tree because the wind blows, but that huge tree that's in my yard, I mean, I'm sure that joker was there during Hurricane Floyd because that tree old.
It's seen some things.
And it has actually gotten through some hurricanes because we've had Hurricane Floyd, we've had Hurricane Hugo,
Matthew,
and we ain't talking about her dad, y'all, but
Matthew
can be a hurricane.
Yes.
You better know it. He can be yes, sir. So I would say that all oak trees are not the same.
Come on.
Maybe certain ones have popped or snapped during under the pressure, but not every oak tree has snapped or popped under pressure. Because that one that's in my yard has not snapped or popped. I mean, and I kid you all not, like probably 5 people can. I mean, that like when I tell you the branch, I'm gonna show it to you next time you come to my house. It's like over there at the side of the driveway.
Okay.
But I mean, it's huge, and it is so tall. So I can see myself being an oak tree. Another thing that I like about oak tree, and I did not mention the leaves, but it is true about the leaves. The leaves, they do start out, green. And of course, during certain seasons and times of the year, it falls off. And you know how I feel about dead weight. So I feel like those, those leaves, they kind of go through the transition and they fall off. And then during a certain period of time, new leaves appear. New leaves, they come back and they're green. And so, I mean, I feel like the oak tree goes through a lot of transitions. I feel like the oak tree withstands a lot of issues and they stay grounded. I feel like an oak tree is grounded and it doesn't bend. But I think an oak tree might be somewhat like me. I kind of I speak my mind and I say stuff, but then there's other things that I might hold in and not speak on a whole lot. And I just watch and I just wait for that perfect time to talk about it. And then that's when I snap.
My God.
That's an oak tree. So maybe it has taken on so much burden, it has taken on so much weight, it has just taken it all in and just held on to it. And then when that right wind comes by, it just snaps and it just breaks because it just can't keep being strong any longer. It just can't keep holding on to that thing or those things that have been burdened and talking, just. And I know a lot of people that hold on to stuff and that don't talk about it. And then all of a sudden they just snap. And it's not because they're not flexible. Maybe that's just the way that they deal with life. And I feel like at some point, all of us has snapped at some point. I don't think we're always the one thing. I don't think we're always a palm tree. I don't think we're always an oak tree. I think we are a combination of things. I think I'm more of an oak tree because she calls me type A because I'm such a planner.
Severely.
I am.
But there's nothing wrong with it. She
No.
keeps me grounded.
Yes.
Thank you, Oak.
You're welcome, Palm. So I feel like that everyone has a little bit of both. I feel like a palm tree might be a little more flexible because they might be a little more vulnerable and they might share things like you do. And see, I don't,
Yes.
I don't share. I'm a little more firm and I'm a little more tonal and I stay this way. Palm tree, they just flying, they just all over the place. That's y'all. I'm just more of a, and if anybody really knows me and know my personality, I really see myself as an oak tree, but I think you can become more of a palm tree when you become free. And I'm not saying that I'm not free, but when you can come free and be a little more mature about things and accept things for what they are instead of the way that you want them to be. And that's an area that I need to work on. I have things that I want it to be a certain way. And I feel like if I plan it this way, then this is the way that it should go. And that's when I don't have the flexibility. But God is teaching me to have that flexibility. But I'm still an oak tree. Because I do blow with the wind and I flow with the wind and I don't snap. But when I let too much overwhelm me and get me there, that's when I snap. So it's a little bit of both. I think it's a little bit of both, but I like the and the oak tree is necessary. We need an oak tree. So we need people that are strong and that are durable and that can be used for many things. The oak tree can be used, like I said, for wooden floors. It can be used for fire to keep people warm. It can be used for, barrows. It can be used for a number of things. So a palm tree, I didn't find had that much use to it. But at the same token, it still has a purpose.
Right.
So I think God created the oak tree and the palm tree so it can balance each other out. And that's what me and y'all do. Although I'm more of an oak tree and she's more of a palm tree, where she's strong, I'm weak. And where I'm weak, she's strong. And so therefore we balance each other out. So those of you that are a palm tree, it's okay. It's nothing wrong with being a palm tree. It's nothing wrong with being flexible and coming, into a storm. And the good thing about it is that y'all, when I heard you talk about the roots and stuff grow stronger, it sounds like that the palm tree is prepared for the wind and it already knows that the wind is coming. So when the wind comes, the roots grow and it gets stronger. So it doesn't have anything to do with how shallow it is. It just has something to do with how God created it to be. And so it automatically knows that when the wind comes, it's prepared to grip. And that's why it doesn't bend.
Right.
So.
And we'll have a selection from the choir because the evangelist just took us on home. Okay. I love Jay. Like her revelation, I'm just like, my God. Use the Lord. But seriously, so when I read about the palm tree only being, I think, no more than 36 inches deep into the ground,
Yep.
I was like, oh my gosh, that's not that much. It's like really shallow.
That is
like
shallow.
Right there at the surface. And so as we were talking, I thought about having faith the size of a mustard seed.
Mhm.
And you guys, I don't know if you've ever seen a mustard seed, but it's very, very small. Like
Very.
you almost may need to use a magnifying glass to actually see it.
Mhm.
But that faith can move mountains.
Mhm.
It can withstand any crisis that you could ever go through. And so when I think of the palm tree and I think of me being more like a palm tree, um, maybe I'll write a tell-all book. I don't know yet.
Oh, you will, because you're already telling it all.
Look, I already tell all. I have been through a lot,
Mhm.
a lot, a lot, a lot. People, even things I have not even shared with Jay. Private things that I haven't even shared with anyone but myself and the Lord.
I know that's right.
And so, but I've learned to adapt
Mhm.
like a chameleon. You know, they adapt, they change their colors to adapt to whatever situation that they're in.
Mhm.
I've become very creative in adapting.
Mhm.
It's taught me to survive. And I have so many survival stories. You guys will be like, oh my God.
We got one now.
It will cause somebody really to go crazy. But because I am a palm tree, I've learned to be flexible. I've learned to go with the flow. I've
with the
learned
flow.
to realize that it's just a season.
Mhm.
And that, like the evergreen leaves on the palm tree, I'm not going to break. I'm going to go from season to season.
Mhm.
And as we learn from faith to faith, from glory to glory.
That's it.
And so, even though when I'm in a situation, it's not comfortable, I don't like it, I know that it's teaching me something. Sometimes I don't get that something until years later.
But it's okay.
But it's teaching me something. And some things just become full circle years later. Like, I don't think I've ever shared this with anyone. So when I first moved to New York, of course, I'm young, I'm in my 20s. I'm like, yes, I'm in New York. But all I had was $20. Now, this was back in 2000. In 2000. All I had was 20,000. 20,000. Oh, I wish.
It's
Thank
coming.
you, Jesus.
It's coming.
Hallelujah.
It's coming.
Speaking to my future.
Yes.
All I had was $20, folks. I told no one. But let me tell you, back then, I don't know how much the slices of pizza cost now, but back then, I think a pizza slice was only $1.
Oh, no, that's right.
So I survived an entire week off of $20. And I was in school, so I didn't have to worry about rent or anything. I was in grad school at New York University, and I lived in the dorms. So I made that thing work. And in New York, you could pretty much walk anywhere. So I walked so much. And so during that time, even though it was uncomfortable, I've learned creative ways to survive. So when I'm in my next season of survival, like a palm tree, actually like an oak tree. Maybe I'm a little oakish.
Yeah, I'm
a little oakish.
I think we all have some of it in us.
I have the resilience to know, hey, I can do this. I did it before, I can do it again. Now listen, I don't want to go through another season of survival. Although I'm in one now.
So am I. But let me tell you some things about the palm tree.
Yes. The palm tree?
Yes.
Okay.
So the tree represents physical and spiritual nourishment, transformation and liberation, union and fertility. They are seen as powerful symbols of growth and resurrection.
Wow.
And the palm tree is used in the Bible.
It sure is.
Remember they laid him down when Jesus was on the coat and walked across. So yeah. So it is also used in the Bible. So the palm tree has a great, significance.
Right. Resurrection.
Of resurrection.
New life.
Yeah, new life.
Beginning.
Exactly. So it's
So what are you guys? What are you? Are you a palm tree or are you an oak tree?
Yeah. Are you flexible or are you just strong and durable and you just let everything come on you and all of a sudden you just snap? So which one are you? And it's nothing wrong with being either one. It just goes to show that, like I had told you earlier, y'all, I just feel like the palm tree and the oak tree is kind of like personalities. It's just how we are as people and how we deal with things because everybody deal with things differently.
Right.
Some people hold things in, like me, when it comes to certain things. And then some people tell all, like, yeah, she tells everything. Which is nothing wrong with that. Again, we all have our different personalities, but like I said, I feel like that some of us have both, but I think more of one.
Hmm.
And I definitely see myself as an oak tree, strong, durable, around for a long time. It can you know, withstand some bad weather because they don't always break. And I guess you can't say all oak trees are the same because maybe some of them snap and maybe some of them don't. Because that one
Right.
in my yard ain't snapping, and I pray that it don't snap. Because if it fall anyway, it'll take the whole neighborhood. Like that thing is huge. It is huge. So
Let it live, Lord. Let it
let it
live.
live as long as I'm living there. But no, I really don't. I don't want nothing to happen to any of my
Right.
neighbors in the hood. So I mean, I don't want nothing to happen to my neighbors. But yeah, I mean, I just feel like I don't know because the oak tree has resistance and it has knowledge and strength and morale and yeah, I mean, so
Yeah, it's
I
all
just
about you guys
yeah,
trying to figure out your way
mhm,
so that you can know who you are.
mhm,
Because in order to move to the next level, you need to really dissect yourself.
yep,
You really need to learn what it is that you can withstand or not withstand. And even, I mean, there are some things that I think that I wouldn't get through, like the death of my mom, but I did.
mhm.
The palm tree. Um, so
I just heard adjustment.
come on, come through, Jesus.
I did because I mean that's what it is that when you lose someone, you have to adjust to your everyday life being different and learning how to live without that person.
Right.
And so that's just how it is. The tree, like you said earlier, it does just adjust to the weather. And here's another thing that came to me. A palm tree is real thin.
Mm-hmm.
It's like a cylinder, but it just grows tall. A oak tree is like, wide and very tall. And so that's why I say don't sleep on small people. Don't think that because somebody's small or you think that somebody's bigger that they can overpower them or that person is scared. And I'm not necessarily getting into fighting or anything, but what I'm saying is that size doesn't matter because anybody can break, anybody can fall. But you would think that because the oak tree is much bigger and much thicker and wider, and the branches and everything are up, it can grow as tall as 100 feet, and then you have this small slender thing. It actually can withhold the weather and adapt a whole lot easier than the oak tree can for those that snap,
Right.
because all of them don't snap.
So, adding to what Jay just said, never underestimate what you can um, withstand.
Mm-hmm.
You can do it.
Mm-hmm.
It's easier. I mean, it may be like one of those things easier said than done, but you can do it.
You can.
Because I am sitting here before you
Mm-hmm.
each week, both Jay and I, and we're in some seasons, people. We are.
I thought you was getting ready to say it, but okay.
We're in a season. Lord knows we are. But we are not letting that stop us. Actually, it propelled us, it pushed us to do this.
Mm-hmm.
And whether you're an oak tree or a palm tree, sometimes you have to go through those hurricanes, those crises to get to where you need to be.
Mm-hmm.
Because otherwise, you'll be sitting somewhere stagnant,
Yep.
complaining.
Pond
Oh, I
mentality
hate this job.
until you lose that
I
job.
hate my boss. I hate the world.
Mm-hmm.
And that's not how you should live. You should not be living a miserable existence.
Mm-hmm.
I think everyone should live in peace and in an area of abundance, whatever that is for you,
Mm-hmm.
and just live out whatever your hopes, your dreams, whatever. Everyone doesn't have the big dreams that Jay and I has, and trust and believe
They
we're
are
gonna get
big.
there.
They are big.
Okay, don't sleep. But that's okay if you don't have big dreams, but have a purpose.
That's right.
And don't let whatever it is that you're going through in life, whether you're an oak or a palm tree, to stop.
That's right.
Because you are resilient.
Mm-hmm.
You can do it. God did not put you here to be miserable. God did not put you here to be ruining somebody else's day because you're having a bad day.
That's right.
Um, he put you here to cherish, live, and to dream. Okay? So, Having said that, think about it. Are you an oak tree or are you a palm tree?
Or are you a little bit of both?
Figure it out, folks.
Figure it out.
And having said that, we want to say thank you for joining us.
Thank you.
Remember to like, comment, share. We are on mostly all podcast platforms: Apple, Google, Spotify, your major ones. And oh my God, Jay, let me tell you this.
Tell me.
I know we're in a close, but I gotta. So I checked the podcast results. Girl, we got people in Germany listening to us.
That's
girl.
international.
International.
Yes. Look at the Lord.
So, again,
wow. I'm excited.
Yes, be excited because I'm excited. So,
That's
guys,
awesome.
we are already international.
Okay.
So, we're also on YouTube, Instagram, Facebook.
Still need to get my Instagram.
Can y'all help her get on Instagram? Because
my daughter has
I'm
Instagram.
I'm just not doing it.
She gonna do it. She is. She is. She gonna do it.
So listen, check us out, our listeners and our viewers. And we will be back next week. And we love you guys.
Thank you so much.
Bye.